Welcome to Vsb News Online for Friday, January the 30th. I'm Charles Webb. The Bermuda Trade Union Congress today labeled as slanderous remarks made during yesterday's press conference at the Cabinet building by Premier Michael Dunkley and Finance Minister Bob Richards. In a 7-page account, the BTUC provided more detail than we can list in this broadcast, so here are a few excerpts. In a lengthy 7-page press release, the BTUC outlined in detail the events that took place during the working group's meeting on Wednesday, January the 29th. They said the full proposal to be presented to the Premier and Finance Minister included overtime, hiring freeze, cap on financial assistance, schools, travel, agricultural exhibitions, GHI spouse premium, and employee overhead. These items, the statement read, amounted to $18 million and represented a summary of the cost savings initiatives that were discussed. They, the BTUC, categorically rebuked the falsified allegations and the slanderous remarks made by the Premier and the Finance Minister and called upon the government team who were in the room to authenticate the accuracy of the figures. They also called upon the recording secretary to release copies of the minutes and the recording to the public. Feeling that they were obligated to report the outcome of the discussion to the membership, immediately an invitation was extended to the Premier to attend a joint press conference. When it was learned that the Premier would not be in attendance, they proceeded. The statement concluded that the BTUC had met the required cost reductions as demonstrated by the figures and reaffirms to its members that furlough days are off the table indefinitely. For Vsb News, I'm Charles Webb. The PLP, when in government, went $500 million over budget during its last 5 years in office, while the OBA missed out by just $3 million in its first year at the helm. Premier Michael Dunkley said this was one of the reasons the island's economy is so dangerously debt-ridden.
This coming financial year, it is anticipated that government will lose $270 million. That is simply unsustainable. And if we want to continue to think that we can kick the can down the road, the can has now grown into a boulder, and it's getting harder to push the boulder down the road. We need to make decisions not only to protect the civil service and the government finances at this point, but more importantly, every year and every generation. This government intends to do that in the most fair and equitable way. Take one area, for example. Take the area of vacant funded posts and the hiring freeze that goes forward. Currently, as we speak, from over the past couple of days and weeks, there is about $26 million worth of unfunded vacant posts throughout government. The Ministry of Finance believes that it is prudent to say that only 16 million of that can come out of the budget. Because quite obviously, if you're going to have a hiring freeze, you will have essential positions that will have to be filled. The unions believe you can take over 20 million out of that and get to where you need to go. This government is not about to be in a position where we will not hire essential people to do the job. So that's about 5 million in disagreement right there. There's other disagreements in early retirement rates. How many people will retire? If you look at the last couple of years of retirement, the numbers have fluctuated between 50 and 125. So what are you going to budget for, 50? Or are you going to budget for 150? You have to be very careful. One thing about the Ministry of Finance and this finance minister, when this finance minister delivers a budget, it's going to be as accurate as can be, as witnessed the budget in the first one that the One Bermuda Alliance put down 2 years ago. I think we were $3 million out at the end of the day. That is impressive. One of the challenges that the former government got into was for 5 or 6 years in a row, the budgets were never even close. There's a number that I've stated many times on the floor of the House of Assembly. Within the last 5 or 6 budgets of the Progressive Labour Party government, they were $500 million out from what they budgeted for and what was spent. Forget about what you said you were going to do and didn't accomplish. But $500 million out means we had to go back and borrow $500 million to to cover spending we didn't expect.
The Bermuda segment of the Global Environmental Action Plan called Water Explorer was started in 4 Bermuda schools this week by Green Rock, courtesy of HSBC. It is aimed at students aged between 8 and 14 years of age, and it is offered as either a part of the official curriculum or a standalone program. Chris Backerberg of Green Rock feels that Bermuda, with its unique approach to water, still has much to learn.
When I first saw this project come across, I recognized Bermuda's resilience and innovation in terms of water conservation and preservation is unique because of where we're located and how we grow and sustain. So I think our opportunity for our students to talk about what we do well is huge. I don't know that we do that a whole lot, and I think to invite our young people into the conversation and really take a closer look at what do we do differently in Bermuda, and why is it important, and why does it matter, and what can we share with people from overseas, and what can we learn from them?
And as far as education is concerned, this is the kind of thing that kids really pick up on. They're very green, aren't they?
Kids are green and kids are enthusiastic, and I think one of the things I really like about this program is it's experiential education. So we're doing science, technology, engineering, math, we're doing biology, we're doing sociology, we're doing history, geography, wow, outside of the classroom. Yeah. And so the students get engaged in activities, and it's very different from sitting in front of a blackboard and writing down on pieces of paper. This is interactive elements where they learn, why are we learning this about mathematics? Who tests water? How do we test water? How do you look at herbicides and pesticides and manage them into the environment? Who are the people in your neighborhood, if you like? The Dr. Bacons, the Dr. Chapmans, the Stuart Haywards. The students might not recognize who these people are. Organizations like BAMS and BIOS. They're doing incredible work. And our students through this project get a chance to see what they're actually doing. And what's most important, Brian, is there will be a handful of students who look at that and think, that's what I'd like to be when I grow up.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And it has happened with the others.
Yeah, it has, and we've seen this. And I think putting our young people out into the community and having them identify what people really do and what their choices are, they might understand, that's a skill set I have and that's a skill set that I enjoy. So it might be environmental advocacy. It might be the science of environmental science. It could be the social science. It could be community development. It could be community change and social change. By bringing the students out into an active project like this, they get to engage with the people in the Bermudian community.
Well, you're touching them in the head, but you're also touching them in the heart, because they start to care about other countries too.
So, and I Care is one of the features of this program. And if you look at integrity, commitment, awareness, responsibility, and empathy. These are values that we, Global Action Plan, built into the design of the program and look to see how can we measure this? How can we put students into activities, invite them into conversations, and move them from a place from I know to I care to I'll do something.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
In an effort to make Bermuda's roads safer, and in partnership with Bermuda Police Service and the Bermuda Road Safety Council, Defense Broadcasting is launching a safe driving campaign. Complete with thumb bands, come into Defense Broadcasting and 94 Reed Street and make the commitment to drive safer and slower for yourself. Your voice could be featured on the radio. Get yourself a thumb band as a reminder of your commitment to drive safer and with fewer distractions. While you're at it, why not get one for someone in your life who also needs a reminder that our roads do not discriminate. They can take anyone's life. Let's drive safe, Bermuda, and arrive alive. Peace and love. Safe journeys.
The sterling work being carried behind the scenes by the Bermuda Coalition owes much to the efforts of people like Trul Landy. Her task is to keep the new community organization functioning smoothly as a unique coordination of private and public sector agencies.
The framework that we work within is a strategic framework, and it's not new to the audience. There are many organizations here that actually use that framework, but it's a process that gives us the ability to look at the data, analyze the data, put measures in place and strategic activities in place to be able to also, at the end of the day, assess what we've done to see if it worked and then make any improvements. So that's the whole premise of using this particular model.
Now, government's often said it wished that charities would work more closely together. This is the epitome of what they were discussing.
Yep, it's the perfect opportunity for any group, whether they be a charity. We do have government organizations or government departments that are working with us. And we have parents that have come on board. We also have community, just concerned citizens who's part of the process as well. So anybody can get involved in the process, really.
You mentioned Fenton's Drive as one of the issues, one of the people that are coming with you on the trip.
Yes.
And we heard Fenton's Drive only a week ago from the Red Cross,
Yes.
a community that is working for itself.
Yes.
That's very encouraging.
Yes. I'm excited about that particular activity that we were involved in last year or year before. The coalition worked along with the neighbors, with the residents of Fenton Drive, and helped them to work through a process of looking at what are the issues or what are your concerns, and then taking one of those concerns and implementing a strategy to address it. And so it was fantastic to see our process actually work in that. And then now to see them still alive and working, to address their issues, it's great.
When the hurricanes came, they came together.
Yes.
Which
And
is
so the Red
wonderful
Cross
to-
is able
wonderful
to
to
do
watch.
some work in there as well.
And you're going elsewhere soon.
Yes, we're looking for other opportunities to other neighborhoods or community groups, as well as not just in the community, but also looking at what policies and what kind of legislation needs to be amended or drafted in order to address the issues on a total population level so that everybody is affected.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
James Stout, you're the British Rackets Open champion for the third time. Tell us a little bit about the competition this time around, and were you surprised being able to take it in 4 straight matches?
It has been probably 3 or 4 years since I went over and played in this event, which is the most prestigious tournament of the year on the Rackets calendar. And the field was as strong as it possibly could be. Top 8 players in the world were present, and to go through and win the tournament was a big deal, and then to actually win it without dropping the game in the final was sort of icing on the cake.
Now, over the years, you've had quite a few battles, and you've been able to persevere and push on. What drives you when it comes to this event, this particular event, to win it for a third time?
This tournament, so all courts are very different around the world, and to play at Queen's in London, I mean, not only the setting, as it is a very special club, but it's a difficult court to play on, and so to go over and to win 4 games to love in the final and the semi-final, and to really show the UK crowd and players, that even though I don't play on that court very often, that I can play at that top level means the most to me.
In March of 2011, football great Lawrence Taylor was officially declared a sex offender for betting a teen. Taylor was sentenced to 6 years probation in Rockland County Court for patronizing a prostitute and sexual misconduct. Taylor's probation ends the same year Bermuda will host the America's Cup. According to another media source in Bermuda, Taylor is a headliner for the Bermuda Golf Classic set to take place in Bermuda, which is sponsored in part by the Bermuda Tourism Authority. VSB Sports contacted the BTA to ask if they knew Taylor was the headliner and if they knew of his criminal record. The Bermuda Tourism Authority Director of Public and Stakeholder Relations, Glenn Jones, responded, quote, I can confirm the BTA is a sponsor of the Bermuda Golf Classic. We have much more to say about this when we unveil the Tourism Authority's complete golf tourism strategy to all the media in a few weeks. The Bermuda Golf Classic Committee would be responsible for determining who is invited to the event, so we defer to them. End quote. Bermuda's Cameron Pimentel and CC Woman continue taking part in the 2015 ISAF Sailing World Cup Series on the waters in Florida. Pimentel began the day in 84th place overall, and after 2 races on the day and 9 in the series, Pimentel moved down 1 spot to 85th with 271 net points. Pimentel finished the first race of the day and the 8th of the series in 38th and then 25th in the next race. Woman also sailed 2 races on the day. Woman ended the day down 15 spots from her starting 47th position to 62nd with 117 net points. Woman recorded finishes of 34th and 28th. Trey Simons helped his Northern Iowa Area Community College men's track and field teammates finish 4th while taking part in the Cornell Invitational. Simons was involved in a battle in the 800 meters with Ahmad Amazou. Amazou, who is from Marshalltown, won the 800-meter run in a time of 2 minutes flat. Simons was a close second in 2 minutes, 0.05 seconds. Following the Bermuda Football Association's First Division match on Wednesday evening, we can now bring you the stats and standings of the First Division. The First Division is currently being led by the Boulevard Blazers with 30 points. Devonshire Colts are in second with 27 points. And following their 4-1 victory over Young Man's Social Club on Wednesday night at the Somerset Cricket Club, Somerset Eagles are now in third with 23 points. Ty Vince Douglas from the Boulevard Blazers continues to lead the league in goal scoring with 15. Ian Coke Ofro from the Boulevard Blazers is in second with 13 goals. Kyle Jones from Devonshire Colts has 12, and Lizandro Simons, also from Devonshire Colts, has found the back of the net 11 times. Meanwhile, Dale Eve and his Stoke City under-21 teammates endured a bad day at the office as they suffered a 7-1 defeat at the hands of Derby County. Noah Brown and his 21st-ranked Amherst College men's squash teammates posted a 8-1 victory over number 25th-ranked Connecticut College on day 1 of the Pioneer Valley Invitational. With the win, Amherst improves to 3-2 overall in the season. Brown picked up a 3-0 sweep at the number 1 spot, defeating Brian Moulin 12-10, 13-11, 11-6. ESPN West Palm 106.3 Spring Top 63 Senior Baseball Players list has been released with Braxton Stowe listed in the top 10. Stowe, who has committed himself to play college Division I baseball at St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri, is ranked 10th on the list. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Saturday, January the 31st, it will be mostly cloudy with occasional showers. Winds will be west-northwesterly, strong to gale force. Gusts to gale force, decreasing strong briefly during the morning. Returning strong to gale force with gusts to gale force by afternoon, then decreasing strong overnight. We are expecting a high of near 63 and a low of near 52. This weather report is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Well, thanks for watching VSB News Online for Friday, January the 30th. I'm Charles Webb.